Here we go. We're going live.
Okay.
What's going on, guys? It's Kyle Carroll from MyMMAnews.com and Carroll's Corner MMA podcast. Once again, we have a guest that we've had once before, Dave Manley, the owner of Bobblehead MMA. Dave, how are you doing?
Great, Kyle. MMA Bobblehead.
Oh, my apologies.
You got it a little bit backwards, but that's okay.
MMA Bobblehead.
I don't know if that sounds that great.
MMA Bobblehead, you guys are definitely, storming the scene right now for collectibles / bobbleheads. First of all, since last time I spoke to you, we're just kind of getting into it. Things were just starting to roll. Now I see things all over. You have, I think, 9 different fighters on for bobbleheads. Tell us how it's been and how crazy things have been for you.
Man, where do you even start? It's been so crazy, Kyle. When we spoke last time, I think I had just released maybe my 3rd bobblehead, and
you were just doing the Bruce Buffer.
My 10th. Yeah, and I just released them. So I was even though I'm about to release my 10th bobblehead next month, I was still so green. This whole journey has been not only incredible for an MMA fan like me, a lifelong MMA fan like me, but it's been so informative, and I've learned so much about so many different things that I didn't know before. I feel like I've just really been a sponge in the last 3 years, taking on all this new information, and it's something that's kind of different for a guy in his 40s. You think, you're kind of established, you're full on in a career, and you're moving right along. There's not, a whole world out there that you think you're going to learn about. At least, that's kind of how you move along in life. And then all of a sudden you take on this endeavor and you just realize you don't know anything about what you're about to do. But in my case, I was so passionate about learning how to do this and how to market it and sell it and get a website going and do social media. It's been quite an adventure, that's for sure. It's been awesome.
And I remember seeing online you were in almost like a Shark Tank situation. You were, I believe, a finalist to get an opportunity to win some money to help your business. How did that go? How did that finish up for you?
Yeah, so I was on a show called The 5-Minute Pitch. Super interesting show if you guys like Shark Tank or entrepreneurship, small business owners. It is a lot like Shark Tank in the way that there's judges, where Shark Tank has investors, but it was, I think, 300 small businesses got chosen to participate in like an NCAA bracket style tournament in which you told about your business in front of these judges, and then you moved on, and you were in these brackets. And I made it to the Final Four, and I ended up not winning the show, and that's okay because I ended up becoming friends with some of these judges, and the judges are like masterminds in e-commerce, which is something that, Kyle, seriously, I knew nothing about. I really didn't know anything about selling these things, and that was a really big hurdle that I had to get over. Because it's one thing, learning about bobbleheads, the mechanics of bobbleheads, the paint, the clay, all that stuff, and getting the poses. And then it's another thing convincing a fighter to say yes. And those are 2 totally different monsters you got to battle. But then what's behind door number 3 that I don't realize is that you got to market these things. You got to sell them, or you're gonna go broke really, really quick. So I was concentrating on the first 2 things, learning how to get them made, and then having the fighters say yes to them. I paid no attention to marketing. So when I went on this show, I quickly realized how far behind I was in e-commerce and sales and things like that. So the show helped me out tremendously. You can still watch it on YouTube at 5-minute pitch.
Now, you're talking about doing the first two parts. You're designing, you're putting them together, signing the fighters to get them to agree to do it. And when you talk about putting the hand painted and everything like that, as I'm going to hold it right up in the camera, the detail in these, I bought the Randy Couture one as well as the Bruce Buffer one. They're signed. The detail in these are phenomenal. And I was showing a couple of my buddies, and they're floored by how awesome they are. And the price is right too, though. You're not like charging an arm and a leg for these. They're an absolute right price. They're a phenomenal product, and I think any MMA fan should be collecting them. I absolutely think they should be. MMA Bobblehead does a phenomenal job with your product. It's amazing. And then you just keep releasing great fighters. I believe you did Joanna Jacek, right?
Yes, I did.
Masvidal, and now you just released the Misha Tate one. So you have some phenomenal, and then you got classics, the Dan Henderson bomb and the Chuck Liddell.
Yeah.
You have some great ones, a great product out there. Any other new ones that you got coming up that we don't know about?
Yeah. So first of all, on that note, thank you. That was I'm going to cut that up and put that as a commercial for my Instagram. And second of all, one thing that a lot of people don't know about these bobbleheads is the detail that goes into them. And I can't go on every day and talk about this and talk about that as far as the detail goes, because I would go on, every day talking about something different, like the Randy Couture that you just held up right now. I don't know if you know this, but if you look inside his mouth, we made little tonsils. So, people don't know.
Oh, geez, no, I never looked. That's awesome.
Yeah, people don't know that, like on the Bruce Buffer, there's a bee on his ring, or, we have wow, that's kind of creepy. Or the Jorge Masvidal, we redrew his neck tattoo to be exactly like his tattoo. I have a bunch of photos from that Jorge sent me of his tattoo up close, so we can draw it out. So we want everything to be as realistic, but yet cartoony too. So a lot of work goes into these things. And as far as the fighters that I've released go, I mean, it's a dream come true, Kyle. I mean, I have 4 UFC Hall of Famers. I think I have 3 champions that I've released. My 10th fighter is that I'm releasing in a few weeks is a household name, just like everybody else. But this person is just an icon in UFC, and person number 11 and 12 and 13, it's all the same, and I feel blessed to be able to do this with these guys. I'm so fortunate. And
you're not just stopping at the detail on the fighter, but then the boxes that you come out with are incredible detail, and I like how Randy Couture, he was in the Army, so you have like an Army patch and stuff, and the detail you have like about their life, there's a part of them on the box. So like I said, the detail doesn't stop on the fighter and the product itself. It goes all the way through the box, and they're signing them, they're all numbered and everything else. But then you're also making Christmas ornaments as well, the little guys, which are pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really fun. Kyle, one thing about these things, one thing about the bobbleheads that I'm really proud of is that I'm making it from A to Z how I, as a massive fan, would want it, as a consumer, how I would want it personally. So I would want the fighter to be involved every step of the way, and I do that. I would want it to be so personal that that there is no way it could be replicated or duplicated or copied just from someone else's idea. I want the end consumer to know that that box on Randy Couture, that's not just an eagle that looks cool. That's the 101st Airborne Division. That's their symbol that's been around for 70 years, and those flags are in the Randy Couture Extreme Couture Gym in Las Vegas, all over the place. The camouflage, when you open the lid to that box, Randy loves camouflage. So I thought I have to put the camo in there somehow, some way. And what a lot of people don't know about these too, Kyle, is that each fighter takes the time to write a personal note that when you open the lid for the very first time, the first thing that you see is the note from the fighter before you even see the bobblehead. So that's really, really cool, man. I think that, getting a note from the fighter, if it's your favorite fighter and it's something personal, I don't care if it's 2 sentences or like Randy Couture, 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs. That's something personal, and I love that. And then not to mention that they're all numbered and they're limited. So I'm really proud of how I, make these things and the process that goes into it. And, I feel like, I'm getting better too. The Jorge Masvidal is a real testament to that. It's the flying knee bobblehead. I mean, a flying knee bobblehead, you've never heard of such a thing before. It was really difficult to come up with the idea on how to make it. Jorge was behind it 100% and very encouraging the entire time. And I'm just proud that I get to, use, my creativity and, my artistic ability and design and work with these athletes that I look up to just like millions of other MMA fans.
Yeah, you're definitely a fan. I see you on there with all the fighters. And I just love the fact that you didn't just stop at the bobblehead, which I really believe is on the rise because I'm in the sports collectible industry and you have cards. That's a bit about it. You have Topps like baseball cards, and then there's really not much else. Like the fighters might sign, they might throw the mouthpiece out into the stands, but one person's getting that. They might sign their gloves and donate them or throw them to someone. But outside of that, it's not like football or any other sport where they have cleats and helmets and gloves and jerseys and all sorts of other stuff where they're signing all the time. But what better than a bobblehead you could put on your desk? You could put it anywhere. It's not just going to be put on the wall and left there.
Yeah, one thing about this journey is the business side of things. Obviously I don't want to go bankrupt doing it, and I was on that path, like in the fast lane on that path. But one thing that really put me over the edge on going forward with this is out of all the UFC events that I go to, and really any concerts or any football games or whatever, you see the same memorabilia that you've seen for forever, since you've been going to the game. There's the hats, the hoodies, the T-shirts, the programs, and the posters.
Yeah, nothing really unique.
Sometimes they'll get a little bit crazy with something that's a little bit creative, but when I started making these bobbleheads, I realized that MMA fans don't have a lot to choose from when they want to honor their favorite fighter. A lot of these T-shirts and a lot of the hoodies and hats, they're too loud for guys like me in their 40s. I don't want like something all huge, a big dragon and a snake or whatever it is. I don't want to sport that, so maybe I want something a little bit more elegant, a little bit more understated. What's better than a bobblehead? They're interwoven in who we are as sports fans since we were born. So I thought, why not take bobbleheads to a whole nother level and do it for MMA?
Absolutely. Now, what made you decide, hey, let's do the Christmas ones? You're going to have to downsize and rescale everything. But what made you be like, hey, let's do the little ornaments so people can hang them on their trees?
Yeah, the ornaments are really cool, man. I just saw one day that I saw a basketball player Christmas ornament just somewhere in, I don't even know where, like I was on Amazon or something, and I thought it was like a LeBron James. I don't even think it was even that popular. It might have even been like a generic. And I said, you know what? Let's make Christmas ornament. Who doesn't want a bloody fighter on their Christmas tree? As UFC fans, I want to Kyle, God bless Christmas and Christmas trees and Christmas ornaments, right? But that's not for me, man. I don't get excited about Christmas ornaments, And I think a lot of guys are probably in the same boat as me. It's kind of a thing for the kids or the family or whatever, but guys don't really get all jacked up to hang Christmas ornaments. So I thought, you know what, let me try to change that and make these guys into little Christmas ornaments. And I've gotten nothing but a great response, especially during Christmas time when people send me their photos of all my Christmas ornaments, all the UFC fighters on their Christmas tree. It's awesome. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, you got an angel, you got like popcorn and Jesus, and then all of a sudden Chuck Liddell.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. And that's the way. I mean, isn't that how it should be?
Yep.
Baby Jesus next to the flying knee Christmas ornament.
Absolutely. So I guess what's the hardest part for you right now moving forward? What are the pros and cons of doing this? as like, you're building the business?
Yeah, the hardest part moving forward by far for me is time management. I have a full-time career doing something else that's very, very serious. I'm a financial advisor, so I have a lot of clients, about 1,000 clients that I have a relationship with. And like I said, it's a very serious job that I don't take lightly. But at the same time, I am in love with what I'm doing with the bobbleheads. I'm so passionate about it. I can't go a minute without thinking about it. I go to sleep at night, and that's all I think about when I'm falling asleep. And when my eyes open in the morning, I can't wait to kick the covers off my bed as soon as the sun starts coming up to work on the bobbleheads. So time management's really, really difficult, but I seem to get it done. I've never worked harder in my entire life. I've never even thought I had this in me, to be honest with you. I've always been a pretty hard worker. I come from a hard-working family, middle-class family, but in these past few years, man, when you find something, it sounds so cliche, but when you find something that you love to do, and you can possibly turn this into a business where you make a little bit of money, I mean, you're going to go all out trying to make it the best that you possibly can. And that's the position where I'm in right now, that there's just not enough hours in the day. There's always something to do. I work 7 days a week, all day. Sundays, I'll try to take the first half of the day off. I'll sleep in a little bit. Spend some time with the dogs, but other than that, time management.
Awesome. And then, with craziness going on right now, everyone's panicking, grabbing all the toilet paper they can. Has the coronavirus hurt sales at all? Have you seen anything like that where it's kind of affected your business at all?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, people aren't interested in, searching for MMA memorabilia or bobbleheads when they're wondering, if they're going to have, enough food in the cupboard in the next couple of weeks, or if they're going to be able to leave the house. And I think it's not only me; it's the bar owner and restaurant owner down the street. It's the small gym owner, or any small business. This thing's serious and it's for real, and we see it in our everyday life. You can't, even if you close your eyes and plug your ears, you just feel it, So yeah, but bobblehead sales definitely have been affected. Luckily, it's not, my main source of income. As a matter of fact, Kyle, I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but I've never even paid, in 3 years that I've been doing this, I've never even paid myself a dime.
Oh, wow.
Nothing. Every dollar has gone back into the business. I'm over $100,000 in debt that I've lent, like Dave Manley has lent the company. And, I know that one day I'll recoup it, but right now that's not my focus. Money has never been my focus when doing this business, ever, not 1 minute. So, high quality craftsmanship and artisan bobbleheads and working with the fighters and getting them paid and all that stuff, that's always been my number one focus. But yeah, Bob, this thing will pass, and things will get better, especially with the fighters that I have coming out. It's just really unbelievable.
Awesome. And now you also have I believe a partnership with, I think, like MMA fighting or something like that. Do you still have that, or do you have any sponsors or sponsorships with anyone at the moment?
No, I don't have any sponsorships. I'm really good friends with the guys at MMA Junkie. And I'm friends with Ariel Helwani, and Ariel has been a really big supporter of this business and getting these things going. I mean, getting this business up off the ground, which has been tremendous for me. Ariel was actually, I'll tell you a quick little story about Ariel Helwani. I was learning how to make these bobbleheads for about a year, back from 2016 to 2017, and I was doing everything that I could to get these fighters to say yes to making a bobblehead. And everyone was saying no, Kyle. I mean, I had maybe 12 no's from fighters that no one's ever really heard of. I hit up a couple famous fighters that would maybe open up the main card or be in the middle of the main card. I didn't ask anyone that would be like a headlining fighter like who I have now. But everyone was saying no, and I was thinking, what the hell did I just do with my life in this past year? I sunk all this money and all this time into this bobblehead company, and I think I'm the only one who thinks that it's cool. And so I was in Vegas, and I was getting no after no in Vegas, and I was starting to think, okay, well, maybe I should consider stopping, and stop the hemorrhaging of the money, the bleeding of the money and my time. And I was in the Park Center for the UFC Hall of Fame. I wanted to see them induct Sakuraba. And I was in the cheapest seats. Like literally, there was no seat behind me. My back was against the wall. And from way off in the distance, in the VIP area, I saw Ariel Helwani in his plaid shirt, and he was like mingling amongst all the fighters and just kind of in the VIP area. And I thought, you know what, Dave? Fuck it. I am going to get myself to Ariel Helwani, and I'm going to show him the artwork that I'm doing on my phone, and I'm just going to get his opinion. So I beelined out there. I just jumped over the rope. The usher's like, hey, you can't do that. But he's got a man of station, so he doesn't chase after me. And now I'm in the VIP section. I'm standing next to Ariel like a stone-cold stalker. I'm waiting for him to finish his conversation. And as soon as, there's one split, gap in time, I go over to Ariel and I say, Ariel, I know you don't know me, but I want to show you something. And I need you to shoot me straight, man. If you think that this is a bad idea, please tell me. But just be honest with me. So he's like, no problem, I'll be honest with you. So I pull out my phone and I show him, what I was working on, the art. Mm-hmm. No fighter had said yes. And I was showing him all the things that I've done. And he's like, dude, this is incredible. Man, this is so awesome. And I'm like, Ariel, come on, man. And he's like, no, I am not lying. I was prepared to tell you to stop. That's what Ariel's saying to me. And he goes, I'll tell you what. If any fighters ever say yes to making a bobblehead, I'm going to put every single one that you make on my desk.
That's awesome.
And I looked at him and I said, Ariel, don't fuck with me, man. Don't do it. Don't fuck with me right now by saying that. And he's like, I swear to God. And he pulled out his phone and he's like, here's my number. Here's my contact information. Let me know how it goes. And Ariel, a man of his word like he is, I made the Dan Henderson. It immediately went on his desk just like every other one since. So, Ariel Helwani's been a big, supporter of me since the very, very beginning. Yeah.
That's awesome. And that's got to be encouraging when you get someone like that to be like, this is really cool, kind of tell you that, oh, that's cool, but I don't know if I would buy it. No, that's really cool. If you make it, I'll put it on my desk. That's definitely encouraging.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. It was a lifesaver, Kyle. I mean, I was about to quit.
Yeah.
I was really about to quit. Yeah, so it's things like that. And I've had a lot of little things it's not little, but I've had a lot of things like that just keep ratcheting up my confidence and keep on and encouraging me and not quitting, letting me not quit and, helping me find a way to get this thing going. And the next thing you know, I got Chuck Liddell and I got Randy Couture and Misha Tate and Jorge Masvidal right after he does the flying knee. And, we're starting to roll now. So it's, I feel so grateful.
Yeah, I'm excited to find out which ones you're going to announce. How are you going to announce these? Are you going to put them on your Instagram page?
I do. I let everyone, if you follow me on IG at MMAbobblehead.com or MMA Bobblehead, I send out several announcements when I'm going to go live with the next fighter. And sometimes because I already know that I'm looking ahead, a couple fighters like the way that I show the audience how they're made during the process. And like Jorge Masvidal was one of those fighters. So when I was making Jorge Masvidal, every Friday I was going live on Instagram and I was showing the audience where I was at with the making of the Masvidal. And I was getting some feedback from people and, what do you guys think about this? How about that? And, showing them the sketches and then the digital art and all that stuff. So it made it more fun. And then when we released the Jorge Masvidal, everyone kind of just got on board and it was great. Even the only thing I kept secret was the box, and the box is like I wanted to do a comic book
That's
box,
awesome.
and I wanted to keep that secret. So we made an old school Marvel comic with Jorge Masvidal doing the flying knee. So
and I love how you have Askren's
some
head.
element of surprise.
I love how you have just the back of Askren's head.
Yeah, with some blood.
That's awesome. Yeah,
So
that
yeah.
now you drew all that, right? That's all you're drawing on
No,
that.
I mean, comic book art's incredible. No, I
Yeah.
hired a professional comic
Okay.
book artist to
Yeah,
do that. Yeah.
that looks amazing. That cover. I'm pretty pumped to see
Yeah,
it.
and then inside, when you open up the inside, there's a 5-panel comic, a little comic strip that we made telling the whole story
Oh, that's
of
awesome.
Ben and Jorge. Yeah, it's really cool.
All
In
the
fact, I'll show it
trash
to you really
talking and
quickly.
everything else leading up to the
Yeah,
fight.
well, the thing is I use all of Ben's actual words. So when he's getting interviewed by Ariel, these are his actual quotes that he's saying. Why you so mad, bro? And then obviously the fight happens, and
Yeah.
there's no more trash talk.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's phenomenal. Yeah, like I said, the detail that you
Yeah.
put into these things are just incredible. Sooner or later, you're probably gonna have a 30 for 30 on these, and I'm I'm pumped to watch it because I love seeing that. Like when you like you said, the fans want to see when you're painting them, and just to start off just these little white heads, and then you're painting them, and the amount of color you put into them, and it's phenomenal. I think it's so cool.
Yeah. I mean, dude, there's a lot that goes into it, Kyle, that people don't realize unless they hop on with me on the IG lives. I'm stressing out about this shade of red versus that shade of red.
Yeah.
Should his skin be this color or should it be a little bit more tan? Should this be that? And I'm asking people's opinions. I'll put up a poll and then I'll just go with it because it's kind of I feel like it's for all of us. And I'm just kind of the facilitator of this thing. So, when I make mistakes and I'll hold something up and I'll say, hey, this is where I'm at. And people are like, no, that's to this or that's to that. I'll take that into consideration. We'll redo it. And so that's a real fun part of this thing. One thing that I always loved when I was a kid, Kyle, is, knowing that an athlete was kind of behind something that you purchased, and we just don't have that anymore. Mm-hmm. I bought some LeBron James shoes the other day, and LeBron autographed the box, but it was a printed autograph.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I was wondering, how much involvement really does LeBron James have in these shoes? I mean, does he just approve the final? Does he even know what's going on? Is he full on deep into it? Which I doubt. But with these MMA athletes, I want everyone who follows me to know that these athletes are in it from A to Z. And then at the end, they sign them. And they're happy to autograph, all these bobbleheads, and happy to do autograph signings and meet the fans. They post them up, so that's really fun too.
Yeah, that's I think definitely the greatest touch is there's an autograph on it, so it's not like you said a printed autograph. You really don't know if they've ever seen it or touched it, or they just sign something, they take it, email it, and it gets slapped onto the box. But these are autographed on the base, which is an octagon, which is every detail is phenomenal. So
yeah.
I'm like I said, I'm pumped to find out who you got coming out next. I've been keeping track of
the next one's huge. The next one's I'll tell you what. Every single fighter that I'm releasing, I think for the rest of the year, has at least 2 million followers on Instagram. Just to kind of give you an idea of how popular these guys are. I don't think there's one fighter that I'm releasing that has less than 2 million followers. I mean, these guys are all, household names for any MMA fan. Even if you just watched or one or none MMA, you know who these people are.
Oh, so these are game changers.
Fan.
These guys coming up.
It's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I have one in the first time out in the summertime that I'm working on right now that I just can't wait. I can't wait. I'm bursting at the seams to let everyone know. That release is going to be 3 away from right now. I have 2 that I'm going to release. Before that, I have one that I'm going to announce in 3 weeks. I have one that I'll announce right in the beginning of the summer, and then the one that I was just speaking of, I'm going to announce end of summer.
That's awesome. Well, Dave Manley, I appreciate you hopping on. I know you got to get going. Best of luck with the business. I'm looking forward to interviewing you in a little while after these bobbleheads coming out and seeing where you're at then. Always a pleasure to chat with you, one of the biggest MMA fans that I know of. So best of luck with the business. And if you want to get an MMA bobblehead, ladies and gentlemen, go on to MMAbobblehead.com. Purchase them. Like I said, they're at a great price point. They're phenomenal detail, and they're a product you'll enjoy. Absolutely.
Thanks, Colin. Thanks for having me on the show. I always enjoy talking to you.
Likewise, Dave. Best of luck, and looking forward to seeing you again. This is the Carroll's Corner MMA podcast, and we're signing off.